Hi, my name is Mario Jutronic and I'm the founder of Marau Watches based here in Croatia. I'm from the town of Sutivan, which is on the island of Brac in the Adriatic, and spent my childhood here growing up, and that obviously has had a great effect on my help to design the watches and the inspiration behind the watches. And today I'll talk to you guys about basically the story of the watches, how it came about, and what the brand is all about. My love affair of watches began when I was living in Japan as a child, and coming to that country, you really kind of get a sense of the importance of time, and it's measured everywhere in every single way for everything, and that really kind of opened a whole new world for me in terms of being conscious of that aspect, where coming from Brac and the island of Brac, the concept of time is very different. You know, you do things kind of very slowly, it's not as important. Coming to Japan, it really opened my eyes to that whole kind of world, and especially with what they have to offer. Then you kind of get into the designs of the watches, all the different types of watches. So I became immersed in that kind of whole concept, which until then was, you know, a bit foreign to me, living on a small island in a town of 500-600 people. For my 12th birthday, my parents bought me my very first, I would say, proper watch, which was a Seiko Kinetic, and my love affair of watches started from that moment. From then on, I basically got the watch bug, like many of us do, and you know, over a course of about a decade, I was collecting, buying, selling, enjoying, gifting people. I was really focused on the vintage watches from the 60s and 70s, and the more obscure they were, the more interesting they were to me. And you know, I was immersed in that world from the point of view, from a design point of view. So I was trying to get as many strange, eclectic designs as I could, and that basically gave me a good foundation to try to kind of create my own watch brand. The number one goal that we had for the brand is that the watch that we put out had to be original, above all else. Basically, we have 30 millimeters of the watch face of the dial to work with, and I knew that was going to be the challenge. So now the task starts of what can you do within those 30 millimeters to put something out on the market that can stand on its own as unique and original. If you look at all the brands that are selling the most in this day and age, if you look at Rolex, if you look at Omega, Blancpain, all these watches, their best-selling watches are all designs that were created in the 50s and in the 60s. When I started designing the watch, I just kept coming back to my childhood in Croatia on the island of Brac, and it was just the most wonderful place to grow up, swimming every day, playing football with friends, diving, snorkeling. And one of my favorite things to do as a kid was I would always go diving for these sea urchins and the sea urchin exoskeletons. And they were ingrained in my memory. I used to collect them, and they were just, the symmetry and the texture of them was just something that I found design-wise kind of out of this world, like they didn't even belong on the planet. That childhood that I spent in Croatia every summer, that was the basis of me starting out the watch brand and trying to design a dial that you could call original. So we took that texture and the symmetry of the sea urchin exoskeleton, and I designed it into the dial, and we used indexes instead of just printing the dial, so it's kind of raised, so it has more truth to the design. So you have the symmetry, you have the raised indexes, the light bends around at different times of the day to try to stay true to the design. Now, people can like the design or not like the design, it's a personal preference of theirs, but I can really stand proudly to say that it definitely is an original dial, that there's not one like it in the world. growing up and living abroad for most of my life, whether I was in Japan, Hong Kong, or the US, I always had this thought in the back of my mind that one day I would come back to Croatia to live with my kids. And that dream is basically a reality now. So I see my kids here, they're swimming and snorkeling and diving and doing all the things that brought me so much joy in my childhood. It's just like a really nice, it's a really nice moment, and it's a really nice time in our lives. And you know, one of the biggest catalysts for that, obviously, is also the watch brand. I am Croatian. The watch brand is Croatian inspired, and I think it was only logical that the brand takes its, you know, first, well, not first, but some serious steps from Croatia. In 2023, we opened our very first Marau showroom here on the island of Brac in Supetar, and hopefully it will be the first of many showrooms. We're also looking to do exhibition around Croatia to spread the brand awareness of the watches, and so people can kind of try them and see them up close. We obviously feel it's a very unique product designed in Croatia, from the Croatian market, and we're looking to obviously showcase that as much as we can going into the future.